civil mode.
Welcome back to Channel 64 News on a Sunday afternoon. I'm here today with Jack Snyder.
How you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
Awesome.
Today we're going to be talking about a physicist. Who are we talking about, Snyder?
We're about to talk about Nikolai Tesla.
Alright, so Tesla. When was Tesla born?
He was born July 10th, 1856, and he died January 7th, 1943.
Alright, so where was he born?
He was born in Croatia, over in Europe.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, during his career, where did he study and where did he really complete all of his work?
He enrolled at the Austrian Polytechnic School in Graz on a military border scholarship. He worked for 2 years in Slovenia as an engineer. He worked for 2 years in Budapest at a telegraph company. He worked 2 years in Paris, and then in 1884 he moved to America to work with Thomas Edison in New Jersey. And after 2 years, he formed his own company in New York, and he lived the rest of his 60 years there.
All right, so he died in New York.
Right.
How old was he when he died?
He was 87.
87. Lived a long life. So, during his career, what kind of awards was he presented with?
Well, he presented the 7th Annual Edison Medal at the annual meeting of the American Institute of Electrical Engineers. That was held in New York City on May 18th, 1917. He was presented the Elliott Crescent Medal in 1894, which is the highest award given by the Franklin Institute. And he was also presented the John Scott Medal in 1934, which was presented to men and women whose, quote, comfort, welfare, and happiness of humankind was improved in a significant way.
All right. So during all of that, what other physicists did he work with?
Well, obviously Thomas Edison in New Jersey when he moved over here, but he also worked with George Westington and Tivadar Puskas.
All right. So what kind of world history events were going on during his lifespan?
Well, he lived through World War I. He ended up dying at the beginning of World War II. But he did live through the Civil War, the Martin Luther King movement, and also the Holocaust, just to name a few.
All right. So, what were his religious beliefs?
Tesla was born into an Eastern Orthodox Christian family. His father was actually a priest in the church. He was influenced by Christianity, but he did not belong to any specific religion. He said, quote, "It might as well be said that God has properties."
All right, thank you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on Channel 64.
Can you flex like me? I don't think so. Wear Adidas to get bigger. Come on, bro.
All right, we are back. And we're going to be talking more of his scientific career now. So, Tesla, what kind of contributions did he make to science as a whole in physics?
Well, he was highly regarded in the energy and electricity history for his development of the alternating current, AC electrical systems. He also made extraordinary contributions in the field of electromagnetism and wireless radio communications. He significantly improved the home life, being said that alternating current is the most used form of electricity in the world. It was also used to make the first public successful wireless energy transfer to power electronic devices in 1891.
So why are all these findings significant to me and you and the world around us today?
His findings are significant to you and me today because alternating current is the form in which electric power is delivered to businesses and residences. Things like kitchen appliances, televisions, electrical lamps, they all plug into wall sockets. It's all alternating current. So he's ultimately responsible for the electricity we use in our everyday lives.
All right. So to question his findings today, are any of his findings found incorrect?
No.
All right. Well, is there any other info you could give me about his personality or reputation in the world?
Well, early in his childhood, Tesla was a visionary and exhibited immense powers of imagination, imagining detailed, rich, and realistic things in his mind. Also, he had an eidetic memory, which meant he could very precisely recall images and objects. And then, ultimately, he became famous for his energy-based inventions. I also have a fun fact for you. You want to hear it?
Oh, sure.
Tesla was believed to be responsible for his brother's death because he spooked the horse that killed him.
Well, that is very crazy. All right. So I heard you wanted to give me a little quiz now.
Yeah, I thought that would be fun.
All right. Let's get to it.
All right, question number 1. What other famous physicists did Tesla work with but eventually become rivals with?
You know, I remember what you described me, the physicists he worked with. I'm not sure who he rivaled.
It was actually Thomas Edison. So he ended up creating a rivalry with him when he created his own company.
Interesting.
Question 2. What 2 forms of electricity did Tesla invent and become famous for?
Well, you know, you hear the name Tesla a lot these days with the cars and whatnot, but I'm not quite sure about that one either.
It actually was the Tesla coil and also alternate current, which we talked about earlier. So,
all right, well, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow for another edition.